The sky trembled as the gods prepared for war. The heavens, once serene, churned with dark clouds, flickering with restless energy. Deep within Asgard, Thor, the mighty god of thunder, gripped the handle of Mjölnir, his enchanted hammer forged in the heart of a dying star. Its surface pulsed with raw power, crackling with divine energy that could shatter mountains and command the storms. Far beyond the Norse realm, atop the grand halls of Mount Olympus, Zeus, the king of the Greek gods, stood upon his celestial throne. His eyes burned like molten gold as he raised his hand, summoning the mightiest weapon ever wielded by a god, the lightning bolt, forged by the Cyclopes. It carried the wrath of the heavens, an unstoppable force of pure destruction. The cosmos held its breath. Two of the most powerful weapons ever known, each imbued with the power of the gods, were about to collide. This was no ordinary battle. This was a clash of legends, a war to determine which divine force reigned supreme. Would Mjölnir, the hammer of the storm, prove to be the ultimate weapon of destruction, or would Zeus's Thunderbolt, the raw energy of the skies, claim its dominance? As the gates of fate swung open, the gods gathered to witness the battle of the century. The war drums of Asgard roared across the heavens, while the Olympian trumpets echoed through the divine halls. The battle was about to begin. The world trembled with the echo of a prophecy. Across the realms of both Asgard and Olympus, whispers spread among gods and mortals alike. It was said that the day would come when the mightiest weapons of both Asgard and Olympus would clash, and the heavens themselves would bear witness to a contest of power, fury, and divine pride. The storm of destiny brewed, and soon, both Thor and Zeus would answer its call. The storm that had begun as a mere murmur in the cosmic winds grew louder until it reached the ears of Odin, the All-Father. His thoughts were ever keen, and he knew this was no ordinary event. This was the test of supremacy, the battle that would echo through the ages. On Mount Olympus, Zeus, king of the Greek gods, heard the same whispers. His mighty Thunderbolt, forged in the very heart of a star by the Cyclopes, had ruled the skies for eons. But now, a challenge had been issued, one that would determine whose weapon, whose power, truly commanded the heavens. As the prophecy spread, the gods of both realms stood poised. In Asgard, Thor, the god of thunder and the wielder of Mjölnir, his enchanted hammer, began to feel the weight of the impending conflict. The hammer, a symbol of Thor's boundless strength, was not just a weapon. It was the very embodiment of the storms themselves. It could summon thunder and lightning, shake mountains, and even alter the course of fate. Mjölnir was a force of nature, forged by the dwarves in the heart of a dying star, a creation so powerful that only Thor, son of Odin, could wield it. Zeus, too, prepared for the coming storm. His Thunderbolt was a divine instrument of destruction, a weapon that carried the fury of the gods. It could strike with the force of 1,000 storms, smiting the earth or splitting the heavens apart. Crafted by the mighty Cyclopes, it was said to be the most potent weapon ever made. Its power was unrivaled, and its name was whispered in awe by both gods and mortals. The time for preparation ended, and the gods of both Asgard and Olympus gathered on the battlefield, a place beyond mortal sight, where the very fabric of reality bent and shifted with the will of the gods. The air crackled with the promise of the coming clash as Thor stepped onto the battlefield, his eyes flashing with the fire of a warrior ready for the test of his life. Opposite him, Zeus descended from his throne, the electric glow of his thunderbolt illuminating his divine form. The very heavens seemed to shudder as they met, their gazes locked in a moment of intense understanding. This was no mere battle. It was a war for supremacy. Without a word, the duel began. Thor, with a battle cry that shook the heavens, hurled Mjölnir with unimaginable force. The hammer cut through the air like a comet, sending ripples of energy and thunder across the battlefield. Zeus, unfazed, raised his hand, summoning a bolt of lightning so fierce that it split the sky, and hurled it toward Thor. The two forces collided in midair, creating an explosion that reverberated through the realms, shaking the very ground beneath their feet. The sky itself seemed to scream as thunder clashed against lightning, the air alive with divine fury. The impact sent shockwaves across the field, and for a moment, it seemed as though the heavens themselves had fractured. The earth cracked, and mountains trembled, as if they too were caught in the battle between two of the most powerful gods ever to walk the earth. The ground split beneath Thor, sending him skidding across the field, but he quickly regained his footing. His eyes blazed with determination as he gripped Mjölnir, summoning the power of the storm within him. Zeus, too, was unyielding. With a mere flick of his wrist, another bolt of lightning shot toward Thor, its brightness so intense that it illuminated the entire battlefield. Thor's reaction was swift. He swung Mjölnir in a wide arc, deflecting the bolt with a crack of thunder that shook the heavens. The ground beneath them cracked open, sending dust and debris into the air as the two gods fought with the fury of the storm itself. For what seemed like hours, the clash continued. Mjölnir and the Thunderbolt met in a series of cataclysmic collisions, each one more powerful than the last. The sky turned dark with swirling clouds, and lightning rained down from above. The earth beneath them was torn asunder, mountains crumbling, oceans rising in violent waves. Yet neither god relented. Thor and Zeus were titans, each driven by the need to prove the superiority of their weapon. As the battle raged on, Zeus began to shift his tactics. Calling upon the full might of Olympus, he unleashed an array of lightning bolts, each one more concentrated than the last. He directed them with divine precision, striking at Thor's every move. Thor, however, was no less skilled. He summoned storms of his own, using Mjölnir to redirect Zeus's bolts, turning them back upon their sender. The storm that enveloped them grew ever more fierce, the clash of thunder and lightning filling the air with a deafening roar. But it was Zeus who struck first. With a surge of power, he summoned a bolt that was larger than anything Thor had yet faced. It crackled with the power of Olympus itself, and as it shot through the air, Thor barely had time to react. The bolt struck him directly, sending him flying backward, his body crashing into the side of a mountain. The impact shook the earth, and for a moment, it seemed that the battle had been decided. Yet, Thor was not so easily defeated. He rose to his feet, blood dripping from a wound on his brow, but his spirit was unbroken. With a roar, he called upon the storm once more, summoning Mjölnir with an unmatched fury. The hammer flew through the air, and as it did, a thunderclap echoed across the battlefield. The power of Asgard surged through the weapon, and Thor wielded it with the might of 1,000 storms. The skies split open as Thor swung Mjölnir with all his strength, and the resulting blast sent a shockwave across the battlefield. The heavens shook as if in fear, and Zeus was forced to retreat. But he did not yield. With a primal scream, Zeus gathered the full fury of Olympus and summoned a final, earth-shattering bolt of lightning. The bolt arced through the sky, striking the ground in a blast of divine energy. The impact was catastrophic. The battlefield was consumed by a blinding light, and for a moment, it seemed as though the very universe itself might unravel under the power of the two weapons. When the light finally faded, both Thor and Zeus stood, breathing heavily, their bodies battered but unbroken. They stared at one another, the fury of the battle still echoing in their eyes. Neither spoke for a long moment, but in that silence, something profound passed between them, an unspoken understanding of each other's power and of the greatness of the weapons they wielded. Zeus raised his thunderbolt and nodded, a gesture of respect. "You fight well, son of Odin." Thor, his face smeared with the dust and blood of battle, gave a grim smile. "As do you, King of Olympus." And with that, the battle ended, not in victory, but in mutual recognition. The storm passed, and the heavens grew calm. Both gods returned to their realms, knowing that their weapons, Mjölnir and the Thunderbolt, would forever stand as symbols of their power. They were not just tools of destruction, but the very embodiment of the divine fury that raged in their hearts. Though no victor had been crowned, the legend of the battle between Thor's Mjölnir and Zeus's Thunderbolt would echo through the cosmos for all eternity, a tale of power, pride, and the unyielding will of gods. The weapons, equal in their destructive force, would forever remain the most formidable in the pantheon of divine relics, each waiting for the day when their power would once again be tested.